if you are a landlord, it's extremely important to make sure that your tenants have renters insurance because it's an extra buffer of liability exposure before it comes to you.
Hey folks, Cameron Stewart here with eXp Realty out of Rome, New York, serving your real estate needs here in the Mohawk Valley. Talking with Stephen Turnbull from Turnbull Insurance Services today out of New Hartford once again. Stephen, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me again.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Always good to have you. Folks, we're talking about renters insurance, okay? Kind of the everything around renters insurance, and Stephen's going to enlighten us on what our best practices are. So first and foremost, Stephen, do you need renters insurance? If I'm a landlord, do I need renters insurance?
So switch to your question. If you're a tenant, do you need renters insurance? And the answer is no, maybe in some cases. Of course, the insurance answer is what? It depends. So if you are renting from a larger apartment complex, or if you are renting from a landlord that is requiring you to have renters insurance, then you are going to need renters insurance. If you're renting from a landlord that is not requiring it, you don't need it. Renters insurance is one of my favorite things to talk about because it is a very overlooked coverage that can make a huge difference at the time of loss. It is fairly inexpensive for what you are getting. And as a renter of whether it be a house, of an apartment complex, of a dwelling, whatever it is, you are getting coverage for your personal property as well as some liability exposure. So I always focus on the personal property thing because the personal property is covering all your stuff that you're bringing into the apartment. So it's bringing in all of the furniture, all of your clothing, all of your pots and pans. There is no coverage on a landlord's policy for your stuff. The previous video we talked about a landlord's policy, the difference between the home and the landlord's policy. But the landlord has coverage for the dwelling. They have coverage for their property that they own. They do not have coverage for the personal property. Let's break this down in a little more simple form. If I'm the landlord and I'm providing housing for Cameron and Cameron is renting from me, he should get a policy, which would be a renter's policy, that covers all of Cameron's stuff and also covers some liability exposure that if Cameron has friends over or people over at his house to protect him from that. So it's very important to make sure that you have an adequate amount of personal property coverage and that you talk to an agent to make sure that you have it set up. And Cameron, if I may, while I'm on a rant here, to switch the roles a little bit.
Listen, this is for educational purposes. Please.
And if I may switch the roles a little bit, if you are a landlord, it's extremely important to make sure that your tenants have renters insurance because it's an extra buffer of liability exposure before it comes to you. Not that if something were to happen, as you're the property owner, you're not going to get invited to the party if something were to happen, but it is an extra buffer, an extra liability that could help out in the event of a loss if your tenant was found negligent for some reason during that loss. So if you're a landlord and need assistance with getting those renters policies set up, I'd be more than happy. We work with many landlords, work with many apartment complexes in this area to make sure that those things are set up for their tenants. And then we work with a lot of tenants on the other side as well.
Awesome. So if you need to get in contact with Stephen, whether you're a tenant or whether you're a landlord and you're looking to get your tenants an easy, affordable way to get renters insurance, Stephen, how do they get a hold of you?
You can find us online on all social media platforms at Turnbull Insurance, turnbull-insurance.com, or our direct number is 315-735-9201.
And folks, if you need any advice on real estate or you're looking to buy a home in the Mohawk Valley or sell your home in the Mohawk Valley, feel free to give me a call. I'll be as much help as I possibly can. 315-351-2765, www.homesbycameron.com. Stephen, thank you so much for joining me. And folks, stay tuned because once again, we're going to be sitting down again with Stephen here shortly to talk about more homeowners insurance policies and everything you need to know about homeowners insurance in the Mohawk Valley. So stay tuned. We'll have more videos coming out in the coming weeks. Stephen, once again, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, sir.